Boom. Life. Oh my gosh, now act. I just came in to say hello. I'm sure I have a little more to say. I hope. I'm not sure, actually, to be honest. It's so hard to prepare. How could you prepare possibly? I don't. My friend the other day, he said, you got to be more certain. And I thought to myself, and you have to have a more like a framework. And I thought, oh my God, do you even know who you're talking to? Framework? And certainty, in a way, I am certain. I'm very certain. I'm certain of who I am. But that's more like, how was I thinking about it today? See, this is great because, and I know we're all joined in that. The most beautiful conversation, the greatest conversation and aha moments and, understanding I have when I talk to myself. And I know we all do that. Right? And there's beautiful conversations, uplifting conversations, and there are conversations that are not very helpful sometimes. And then you have to just kind of, tell yourself to calm down. Or even shut up. I've done it. Shut up. I don't want to hear that story anymore. But the new ones that get inspired by your higher self, that come out of nowhere, like today, So what I wanted to share with all of you was, yes, take a deep breath. First of all, that, there's a lot going on. I mean, a lot. And we just went into, and I know you felt it too, into a whole new, how do I say this? It's not a timeline per se, but, it's just a whole frequency of light. And you could probably feel it in your own expression of being just happy. I mean, I was like happy as can be. And, we used to call them, I actually was part of a spiritual community where our whole focus was, or is, still is, and never ended. I am still part of a community, a spiritual community. But what I mean by that, it was an actual physical school where we all more or less dedicated ourselves to undergoing this process of transformation, knowing that it's very hard in this world. Those of us that call themselves starseeds or old souls, wanderers, all of those, the ones that are different or known that they're different all their life. It's been hard for us. It's been hard for me. It really has. Thank God that somehow through my life experience, I have learned to live with myself, being, so-called different, although I don't never felt that way, really, that I was different. I felt different, but not different in the meaning that, I wanted to be your friends. I wanted to be your friend. But often I experienced, not being rejected. And I think that's also a very big lesson of ours. But let me get back. I'm digressing here. It's easy for me to do. My mind is so loose, loosey goosey. So if you don't mind, just bear with me with the energy. Don't matter what I say, really. So I was part of a school, and actually in that school, we, as I said, dedicated ourselves to transformation. As Jesus describes it in the Bible and also in the Course in Miracles, a transformation of body, mind, and soul, where for a moment you let yourself be undone by the light or the Holy Spirit or whatever you want to call it, and question and or confront your beliefs. Many have taught it. Byron Katie, is that really true? So, and Course in Miracles gives you new ideas to apply to your mind for your old shitty ideas that really didn't bring you what you wanted. So, and it was fairly easy because in that school, we were surrounded with one another, the oddballs, the ones that didn't fit in anywhere else and really desired deeply to change, desired or knew deeply that we needed to change our mind about what the world is. I remember that my journey started off with, I don't know. I came here journeying, really. I can't really, there was no real point in that sense. But I remember one of the moments that really it struck me where I realized, my God, I do need a change of mind was when I was reading Paramahansa Yogananda. I was 20 and I read the book Paramahansa Yogananda, the autobiography of a yogi. And of course somebody snuck in and snuck out again. I love it. It's okay. So anyway, I was reading that and then I found little poems of him. And I read a beautiful poem to one of my friends. And I don't remember the real wording, of course. Who does? But I remember that I was reading that one sentence. In that one sentence it says, and the only thing God does not have is your love. And somehow in that moment it rang so true and so deep. And I just started to cry and cry. And then I asked inside of me, like, so how can I love God? Because I knew that I hadn't really put all my attention on God. And the voice inside of me said, by loving your brother. And I knew that my love towards my brother was very conditional, just like we all often feel. I love you, love you, love you until you use the last toilet paper roll, and then I hate your guts. Or something stupid like that. You know what I mean. That's a little extreme, but you know what I mean. Our love is dependent on behavior. It's not really unconditional, especially when we haven't really been loved unconditional by those that raised us, So we often adopted that and thought that that is what love is. And so, I left it at that, loving your brother. And so I knew then that somehow I had to learn how to love my brother unconditionally. And I didn't really know how to do that. Hold up, I gotta sit up a little. But so the journey, that was part of my journey is I like these glasses. I look so smart. To really not learn, because love is not learned, really. You can't learn to love. It's what you are. The reason why my love was conditional was because I was still deciding with my personality of what is good and bad and what I like and what I don't like and what my personality is hurt by and what isn't. I hadn't had a real sense of who I really am. So anyway, when I was 14, someone came up to me and actually asked me to make my horoscope. And when he did, he called me in to tell me what he saw in my horoscope, and a couple of really amazing things he told me. But one of them was, and it astounded me, that I would meet somebody that I would love more than I loved anybody in my life, and it would change me. And that really happened when I met my teacher, and I call him teacher, not for the reason that he taught me, although he did, but he taught me to teach myself, to really let myself be a guide. He was that reflection of pure light for a moment, of my higher self, so to speak. And I am one that is a visual learner. I need to see it, kind of a Thomas kind, And so see it, feel it, experience it. And so I was told I would meet someone that would show me that and it would change me. And so when I met my teacher, I did experience that for the first time in my life. I loved unconditionally, completely, and I felt loved unconditionally. And It's amazing, really. But not without first knowing myself. That's the more amazing part of the story. That, he wasn't actually the one that showed me, but I had an experience of myself and now needed to know how to integrate that, how to live that in this world. Because as long as we are here for a moment, what is our purpose? I always knew, like from the get-go, pretty much, that I really, 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 really didn't want to do this. Really. Not again. I remember being like, I don't know, 8 or something, and sitting in my room and being overcome with a deja vu moment where I just suddenly knew I had been here 1,000 times, and I started to cry and sob, and with a deep feeling of failure and oh no, that wasn't supposed to happen. How the hell did I get back here? And then just not at the time, not having really a religious belief because my parents weren't really religious, but somehow knowing, because even as a child, I always knew that there was something there that watched over me and that loved me. So crying out to that friend, to that loving watcher, please help me. I need the love to guide me home. I don't know how I ended up here and how to return. And so, I don't know. I'm digressing. I have so much to share. I realize it's just way too much to give tidbits. I don't know. For years, when I first left my school 10 years ago, which was really, really hard for me, it was quite a change, quite a shock, because I never thought, of course, I didn't think any of my life would ever turn out the way it did. What was I thinking? But my life has always been like, I traveled a lot, and I never made plans to get anywhere, really. It was basically, it all came to me, and I took the opportunities as they were given. So, I never knew really how my life turned out, and it's absolutely amazing. It's an amazing journey, and I'm really so grateful for it. And I would so love to share it, because somehow now that we're at this point where really we are in the middle of this transformation, we are in this change, and most of us, I know, if I'm fed up with this, you must be. And somebody else snuck in and snuck out. What is it with you people? What, are you scared of me? I see an eye like coming up there live, and then boop, it goes back quickly. Isn't that scary? I'm not that scary. There you are. You're back. Or maybe it's somebody else. Anyway, welcome. Welcome. Anyway, so where was I? I confused myself now. I lost my train of thought. But it's changing right now. We are transforming. We're in the middle of the transformation. And it's clear that we can't go back where we were. That's over. The carpet basically rolled up behind us. Now that we found out all the lies and everything that went wrong. Okay, so now where we go from here? We can't sit on social media and make reels and lifeys all the I feel, although my vision for my, what I would love to see is for us to come together more. And that's why I'm going to go out and share myself, because I do have a message to give. Messages to give, to live free. I mean, I've seen the fucking wall in Berlin come down. Things can change, from one day to the other. Nobody really knew. I remember nobody really knew what was going on in the East. And I was in West Berlin. And the day that I was released from the hospital, my friend that picked me up said, "Let's not go home. We're going to the wall right now. The wall is open. We got to see our brothers." And so we went, and it was just absolute bliss. Oh my God. Free humans. Little did they know they weren't really free, but for a moment they felt mighty free, and we all felt free alongside with them. We all shared it. And then Pink Floyd, The Brick in the Wall. Oh my God. And parties every night and No One's Land. I mean, Berlin was on fire. You know, everybody that was a free spirit and pilgrimed to Berlin to be part of that incredible ecstatic moment where something so huge changed. And look how it set everything in motion. You know, the whole Eastern Bloc fell. And then right after that, Desert Storm, I still remember we had a parrot radio station in Berlin, and at the time I was living in Berlin with my friends from Sudan. I had like 7 Sudanese people living in my room. It was awesome, best time of my life. And you know, we were all sitting and listening to this pirate radio station, and they were bringing live. You know, from the bombing, they had all this life from somebody that was down there in Iraq or whatever. Anyway, and then you heard all of a sudden a door, somebody at the door, people making noises, blah, 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 click, radio off. Never to be heard again. It was an amazing time, you know. And I feel like even though we're not right there again, whoops, I gotta hold the camera quiet. I mean, still, we are much further than that, much further. But that was, you know, an experience collectively that we share. You know, that we all share. If we were there now or not, it doesn't matter. You know, all the moments that humanity has set themselves free, we share. And all the moments that humanity was enslaved, we share too. We share it as our DNA memory. You know, I'm gonna tell all the stories now. You have a little moment? I should have made a cup of tea before I came on. Even though nobody is listening, who cares? Really, I am. I love my stories, and you know, when I get to talk to somebody, a lot of times I get to say maybe a little bit of my story, and off they go running. They're like, you know, the wind-up bunnies. Just my energy will wind them up so much. I don't get a word in edgewise. So, thank you, whoever sent the heart. I love you too. So, you know, I'm so grateful and excited to create this new platform for myself to share my story. And I will share it over and over. I don't care. I'm thinking, well, you share it once, you can't share it again. Oh, please. If you're like me, I forget shit instantly. You can tell me stories over and over, and I still be like, really? You know, our teacher, he had certain jokes, like for example, how do you make a hormone? One of his favorite jokes. Don't pay her. I know, it's stupid, but we will laugh every time. Every time, just because, you know, it's good to have fun together. We forget to have fun together. Everything is so serious these days. Everybody's on the edge. So am I. I mean, I've already screamed and hollered today. I've already cried today a couple of times, and I already felt completely hopeless. And I yelled at the universe for oops, a mosquito. Sorry, for me being here, for having to be here. You know, like fuck, just can't take this anymore. This system, you know, this whole system that we live under, it's crazy. I mean, really. And it's almost like we're all like in an abusive relationship. You know how you're in an abusive relationship for years and you don't even know anymore that you are in one. You know, I remember one time being in a relationship and been in there for a while, gotten used to being put down, and then somebody coming and saying, you know, if you want your son to grow up loving women, don't put Gemini down. And I was embarrassed because I had gotten so used to it, I didn't even notice it. You know what I mean? I mean, I noticed it, but I didn't, because cognitive dissident. I pretended it's not that bad. He hasn't slapped me. You know, he's not beating me. So he's putting me down. Oh, well. You know, he's grumpy. You know, the excuses we make for unkind behavior in ourselves too and in others. And it's time for us, if you really want to live in a society that's loving and kind, and I know it's possible, you know, in my community. I mean, I was, let me tell you this. In the community I was, and I lived in, I loved it. It was absolutely extraordinary, incredible being. Was it the world too? I mean, yes. Was there corruption in politics and all that? Yes. You know, but I never knew about it until it basically was over. And then as it unraveled, I realized, oh my God, it wasn't really like the way I thought it was. And it broke my heart. But you know what? Nothing is really the way you think it is. So come to find out, another lesson to learn, you know? So now that and it's funny because I always feel like my life is right along in correlation with the life outside, so to speak, you know, the world. And so if my life just fell apart completely, I mean, completely, I was evicted, not because I didn't pay rent, but just because the house I lived in, I actually was a caretaker to a lady that passed. And then the house was bank owned, and then eventually somebody came that bought it, and they were very unkind and threw me out in no time. But you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I knew that. I mean, I was, you know, my fantasies. I fantasized this could end good. You know, like I get money and I buy a little camper van and travel around. Yeah, no. No. And the police woke me up with a bang, bang, bang. And then it wasn't a love shack on the door. And I forgot to put my shoes on. I was so frazzled because the police, you know, the authority makes you kind of crazy. So, you know, but it's all good, really. I mean, yes, there are moments that I go, oh no, oh no, everything. Really, pretty much everything. I got some clothes. I had a little more, but then I had somebody with me who was supposed to help me, and he stole whatever he could. And I was so frazzled, I didn't even recognize him. By the time I did, I mean, I was like, I'm not even gonna worry about that, you know? It's okay, it's all okay, nothing really is stolen. I don't really own anything here. Everything I had, it was given. Anyway, you know? Really, and that was really the gift that I was given. So, and because I changed my mind about how I wanted to look at what just happened to me. And that really is my free will and my choice and my power, you know? And that is also great. And that's what I've always had with me. No one can take that away from me. No one. And that's the beauty, you know, and that's what we have to realize. I mean, look, the people in Eastern Germany, they didn't fight. Of course they knew how corrupt that fucking government was. It was so corrupt. And look what they went through. They had to wait for 10 years for a car. No oranges. No Levi's jeans. No coffee. We used to send packages, my mom. You know? And they made it out of it. And how? Because they just walked out. They didn't fight. They didn't have guns. Don't worry. They didn't have guns. They just didn't pay attention anymore to the system. You know? And that's really what I feel like we have to do. You have to be willing to walk out what doesn't work for you. But as long as we still somewhat participating, you know, and it's gotten more and more difficult over the years to walk out. You know, I mean, as I said, I traveled a lot because I could never really see myself. I mean, I grew up in Germany, and Germany is very bureaucratic. Oh my gosh, very stern in some ways. You know, so I mean, no wonder I don't fit in there at all. And thank God I had a friend that knew me and saw that I couldn't survive there, that my soul was dying like a grape on a vine. And so she was so kind to say, hey, here's $800, go anywhere. I don't even care where. I know you need to go. And so, that was my saving grace. And I realized I started to travel to Israel, which is amazing too. Not being really religious, but going to the place Jesus is from, literally. I was at a kibbutz in Tiberias, right there where Jesus was born, right next to Bethlehem, Nazareth, and all that. And, I found myself experience what must have been like. And first of all, what was really amazing was when I went to Israel, in the kibbutz at first, I didn't like the Israelis, and I just came from Germany. I was upset because I had many years of being a drug addict. I went through a lot of my life. Let's just put it that way. I don't even want to get into this. It's not, the point. The point was I left and my heart was heavy and my heart was broken and I needed a lot of healing. And I found that in Israel for a moment. I used to go off in Tiberias and sit on a cliff and just overlook the Sea Gennesaret and just cry and sob and literally felt, something just holding me. And, but in my mind, as I said, I was still very much in a grievance against everything that just happened to me as a teenager, growing up, being a Stasi, not being seen, being thrown out of school, being thrown out of class, being thrown out of a home, 15 and a half, starting to work in a nightclub. I mean, just on and on and on. And it just heavy. And not really having support from anyone except, a couple of friends, thank God, I mean, really, we're so, thank God, so taken care of, that I met that, saw that I needed support. And, that was the woman that gave me the money to go to Israel. And, in Israel, I was confronted with my grievances, really. So I tell you, and my generational guilt that I didn't even know I carried, on top of it. So what was happened was, like in Israel, they have the day of the Holocaust, of course, where the whole of Israel stands up and is quiet for a minute or 2 minutes, I'm not sure. Anyway, during the sirens at lunchtime. And so, I'm standing in a dining room with 500 Israelis, and I'm pretty sure I was the only German volunteer. It was like 25 volunteers from all over. And I was the only German at the time. There was another one that left. But anyway, so we do that in the afternoon. And then at night, they celebrate the liberation of Israel, which is also funny. It's all both on the same day. The Holocaust and the liberation or getting the country, the, how do you say, emancipation. So anyway, so at night, all the volunteers, we had a volunteer house, and the story is too long. Don't worry, you can listen to it later. But anyway, so at night, we had a party, the volunteers, and we drank, quite a bit, and we were dancing and everything. And the Israelis can get very emotional. Well, so can I. But anyway, one of the girls that I worked with during the day in the banana fields, she was very upset and crying, and she had some other girls standing around her, and all of a sudden she turns around, she points at me, and she said, and it's all your fault. And I'm standing there and I'm just looking at this, crying face and in pain, and I'm just like, I'm thinking, what the hell? Like, it's not my story. I wasn't there. Neither were you. Like, what? I literally did not I did not know what to say except, I am so sorry. Because when I saw her pain, I felt like that's my pain. I'm in pain too. I don't care what it's about. I'm in pain over other things, but that's my pain. And I said, I'm really sorry. Please forgive me. And, you know, as I said that, I walked towards her and we fell into each other's arms and we cried. And I tell you what, the next day, like everything changed from that moment on. First of all, later on that night, I realized that I was like I was killing Jews in that way in my mind. I was judging them the whole time. Like, oh, they're not friendly. Oh, look at them. Oh, in Germany we do that differently. Oh, this and that and the other. You know, and that's basically character assassination or killing people all the time. Like, oh, the Jews, you know. But and so I realized that. And with that, the whole of Israel became my home. So much so that I wanted to become an Israeli. I wanted to become, join, not an Israeli, but yeah, join the Jewish religion, the Jewish faith. I had an Israeli name. I traveled across Israel twice by myself. I hitchhiked many times with Israelis and Palestinians. I slept by the side of the road in bushes. And, in houses that were empty. I was homeless there, but never felt homeless. Never, ever. Always met beautiful people that gave me food and this and that and the other. And then, when I decided I was homeless or traveling, I didn't call it homeless. I'm a gypsy. It's not homeless to me. I'm home full of home. But I, I traveled, and when I decided to get a job and an apartment, it happened like this. One day, I had a job, I had an apartment. I felt totally, cared for and loved. And so anyway, now I told you a lot. I don't know where to go from here. I feel like I'm running out of steam. Now we have two. You guys, you should have been there earlier. I'm running out of steam. And it's not that easy to just... No, well, that's not really true. It is easy to talk to myself. I do it all the time, and I love it. But really what I want to do is by sharing my story, because I have lived so free, really, really free. I lived in the mountains of Austria with no running water, no electricity, picking herbs, making my own jam. And I didn't call it off the grid living. I called it just, wanting to be myself, not wanting to play in this game. Just to work. And I have nothing against work. I loved working. I worked all my life. But I always only worked for as much as I needed. And I always had enough to share it. Guess what? And I've never been rich. But rich in the heart. I'm rich in adventure and experience because I made that my priority. And somehow I didn't have to plan it. I didn't have like a travel guide that's sponsored by whatever. No, I was sponsored by the universe. I really was. Every step of the way, and I tell you, I lost everything innumerable times on the way. First time when I came back from Israel, I was going on a ferry with a friend. We were going to go we went from Haifa, Israel, to Greece, Athens, Greece. And on the way there, him and we got into a huge fight. And he took my luggage and he threw it overboard. Everything I had. Everything. And I found myself standing in a little skirt, little skirt, and a little top. And that was it. But instantly, there was support and there was help. And so I know that we all are carried by that support. And so I think it's safe for us to break out especially now that we know there's so many of us that want to live a different way. We have to come together. We can't do this alone. I mean, I know I'm not alone. I really do. The thing is too, being in that spiritual community and being a human being, period, coming here, not really knowing who you are for a long time until I found out again. Now I'm not alone anymore. But because of that, there's a deep sense of in us to want to belong. So we keep looking for things to belong to. And the community that I was in, oh my gosh, I never wanted to leave. I never thought I would. I mean, where would I go? There's nowhere else to go. There's no world. We supported each other. We loved each other. We were focused on the truth, all of that. We had joy every day. We would dance every day. Every day we danced. 3 hours, 4 hours. Danced our heads off. Not just for the sake of, moving our bodies, but to join in the light, to really dance in the light. Dance, stand, cry, whatever you want to do. Just be free and let your body express it. I mean, let yourself express, But when that fell apart, I realized how much I had made that my belonging place again, instead of belonging within here, always, and then finding a community that is also first within here. We belong here. I belong to myself. I belong to the universe. It's my first belonging. Not really from here, even though I'm here for a moment, but I'm not really from here. So that's what I really would like to talk about it. And if you, there's one eye watching me. I love it. If anyone who wants to come in at any time and talk and open it up to a conversation about how we proceed from here, what are we going to do? It's almost like I wish the East Germans, because of their situation, they're all just escaped they've all just wanted to go out, most of them anyway. Some of them, of course, stayed. Of course, But, I don't know. So what I mean with that, I know I digress sometimes because my mind is so loose. The thoughts go everywhere. But what I mean by that is I see sometimes that we try to reinvent the wheel. Now that we're not going to have YouTube who's like censoring us, or Facebook or whatever, we're going to make our own true social. But I feel more like, because that, to me, that's, and maybe I'm wrong about that. I'm just expressing here my opinions. These are just opinions. They're not truths. But in my opinion, it's like, isn't it just reinventing the wheel? And then all this, what really kind of upsets me a lot too, because maybe just because I remember it so much from my community. In the community, we had some, like the big teachers, they were around for a long time. And so they were, preferenced. And the rest of us, little people, we could, teach sometimes. So, and I, like I see that happening again in a way with this truth community, that suddenly we have like the super soldiers and the people that do, tarot card readings or whatever, like that have some extraordinary experience, and they get to be invited on shows and all of that. And, I reached out to a couple of them, none of them which responded. Some of them with a heart, which I appreciate. But, because I'm not like out there selling myself in some way, or have a smart technique of some kind, or, and, like a angel or something, that I channel, although I do channel, fuck. You know what? It's so funny. I have to share that with you because it was really kind of funny when I found out. So when I was a little girl, my mom said that I used to be in my room and giggling, and that she would snuck in sometimes or one time and ask me who I was talking to. And so I remember this moment actually when I was in the bathtub taking a bath, and I giggled again. I don't know. And she came in and she said, and I remembered that because I remember, you know, that moment when I thought was like the first time that I remember actually consciously, like I was 3 or 4, thinking about something. Because she asked me, "Who are you talking to?" And I said, "My friend." And she said, "Well, what's your friend's name?" And I remember thinking of the Esso gas station that we have in Germany, and then proceeded to say, "Essie." And so for years and years and years, this is a little embarrassing, I wanted it so bad to be an angel that I would look up Essie on Google. Was it me? Who was it? Where's my angel? Please reveal yourself. And then the other day, I thought about it and I thought, oh my God, you're so funny. You made this up when you were 3 because you were embarrassed that you talked to yourself. You know what I mean? Because obviously, mom didn't know what you were doing. So, and her response was kind of mocking it, like, your friend? you know? So, but that's basically it. It's like, I had to laugh at myself, because it's being yourself. I want to, if there's anything I could do is just show you how ordinary normal I am. In that I'm completely crazy. And I had plenty of experiences of all kinds that would blow your mind. But so what? How is that going to help you? Or me right now? You know what I mean? Like, it's so far beyond in some ways. I want us to just get together and have fun. And not find new ways how we're always going to separate ourselves in ways of that you're smarter than I am. Or you understand the universe in mathematics. Great. Awesome. But so what? How is that really going to help me right now? How is that really going to... If it does kind of pull me out of here and I have a fucking light experience, yoo-hoo! But if I'm just going, I'm not smart enough, what does he mean? And I can't get the quantum and I don't understand. Forget it. It's just another fucking trap that keeps you away from just the experience of right now. It's much easier than that. My teacher used to say I have to make it complicated because if I make it too easy, you won't believe it. He was right. You know what is funny too? When he passed, when he journeyed on, he left the movie behind, so I think, in my mind. And the movie is the Kung Fu Panda. And I think it was the second one or the third one. And it was so fucking perfect because, Kung Fu Panda sets out on this whole journey to find the scroll that the master and blah, 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 so he can become the bigger master and all that. And then in the end, he got that piece of paper, the scroll. There was nothing on it. And that's how I felt, with Diron. In a way, the message is, it's you. How are you going to explain this? You can't. The most joy and delight I felt with him when he was just being himself, whatever that was in that moment. Pulling his pants down, showing us his boxer shorts, which was cute. Something, what I loved about this man was that he was just being himself. Ruthlessly, no matter what anybody said, they would call him and say, don't swear in church, people are running away. He didn't care. Next Sunday rolled around, he swore again. Because that's what who he was. How are you going to change that? He was marketable. Most of the people that he reached out, that's why I don't feel so bad, didn't want to have anything to do with him either. Because really, now I know he didn't really have, he used the Course in Miracles because his message was too simple. You know? So the Course seemed, it was a good crutch. I'm going to call it what it is. Because in the end, it's not the book, for crying out loud. I got thrown out for it because I wasn't reading it. Ay, ay, ay. And it says in the book, throw it away. But don't you do it. You know what I mean? That's what I mean. It's just ridiculous. You know? It's ridiculous. It's time to just get together and enjoy one another and have fun and support each other and really being expressive. And, you know, I love doing my little reels. And you know what? I have to tell you, they told me the other day, one of my reels got like 500 views. And I thought to myself, 250 of them are probably from me. I love to watch myself. I'm sorry. If you don't like to watch yourself, then who do you expect to like to watch you? You know what I mean? And what for? I am done looking smart. I can't do it. You know, I don't know what smart is to begin with. I mean, if you mean like mathematics to fucking this and that and the other, no, I have no clue. Over my head. Street smart? Very. You know? So, but that's not going to help us either. You know, if I'm just smart and I can't relax and enjoy and have some fun, then what good is it? You know what I mean? Like, I realize so many are so serious in their knowledge. It is really just about coming together and just enjoying in the light. And I know it's hard to really understand what I mean, except for those of you that were at the school too, where we practice that, you know, where we practice just being ourselves in the light with no... And it was hard for us to listen to each other when we were not in the light. Believe me, meaning when we were teaching. Teaching. Which really was supposed to be for us to learn. Because you teach to learn. Right? But, you know, you teach to learn. I taught to learn. And what I learned is that I don't like being a teacher. You know what I mean? I mean, not one that thinks it is one, because that's too much for me. I like to have fun. I don't like to have a framework around me. And I don't like to come off certain, like, authoritative. I don't. It's not me. You know? I know I am certain. I am certain that I don't know anything. And I'm really, really certain of that. You know, and I'm certain that I just love to be in joy and in light. I'm certain of that. I really am. So anyway, little side note, and then I'm gonna end it, because I think I probably chatted for an hour, so I don't even know. Who cares? Nobody watched anyway, but Jennifer. Just, mwah, thank you, honey. And 2 others. And mwah, thank you. But anyway, I'm still staying in my friend's garage with my 2 little cats, my furry companions. And she's leaving on the 20th to go and to Omaha, and she would like her house to be empty by then. So I need to find another place. I mean, it's so crazy. Really, like, I am just trusting, even though I worried today. But that's okay. It's included in with trust. We have to have these moments. You know, we just go, I trust. Okay. But so everything, you know, just like when I joined my community, and this time again, you know, I could have saved my ass. I could have signed up for subsidized housing. I could have, like, this and that and the other, but I didn't. I don't know why, but some, you know, again, like, some voice inside of me kept telling me, just be really aware right now of everything that is happening, and you'll never have to do it again. I'm gonna cry because I know how true that is. Shit. So that's what I did. I let it happen. I trusted to the last moment that a miracle somehow would appear and save me out of this. And it did. And you know what the real miracle is, really? That I realized, first of all, that these things that I had there, first of all, I had a beautiful place to play. And for that, I'm forever grateful. And all of the things they had there, I don't really need, not any of them. And they all just weighed me down, you know? And I don't really want to own a house or have a house that I can live in by myself. I don't, you know? It's not really me. I was very much like, I felt very much burdened in a way with the house. So anyway, I need a place to go to, or at least a place for my cats, because I mean I can, put my shoes on and walk out. I don't have a car because my license. I had a little accident. I mean, fucking hell, what else could go wrong? A little accident, and of course at the time, because I was evicted and blah 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 insurance, I had no insurance. So now I have a lien on my. Long story short, I have no driver license. I still have a car, but I don't want to drive it because fuck, I don't want to end up in prison. So I'm a little stuck. Otherwise, I would just hop in my car and just drive. But again, I trust that everything will work out fine. And just like it always does, it always did, it is. And it will work out fine just now too. I really needed to once again make a stand in my life for myself. That I really don't want to live that way. For 10 years now, I try to pretend to fit in. And, I just don't. And I had to do what I always done to fit in, is drink alcohol and sedate myself to even be able to kind of function in this fucking system. And I don't want to do that anymore either. And I'm not. But I also don't, I realized, okay, so it's either being in the system, working in it, and sedating yourself because I can't stand it, and I don't know if it's just Florida, but there's so much that happened to me, even just being a worker. Maybe it's because I've always tried to kind of, have another job and another job. I sold flowers. I was a taxi driver. I mean, you name it, I did it. Serious. It's not like I don't want to work, but somehow I always feel like the universe is saying, no, I need you to be out there. You came here for a purpose. Don't get lost again in some fucking $10 job that you're totally not appreciated. You're not getting paid. Your tip money is stolen. You're fired by the wayside, thrown by the wayside. I mean, just like on and on. Why are you doing this to yourself? Exactly. Why am I? I don't know. I tried so hard to fit in again. Why? I don't ask me. I don't know. I didn't know what else to do. For a moment, But I'm ready now. Whatever it is we need to do, or I need to do, I'm ready to do it, but I'm not going to pretend like I like this and I'm fitting in. I'm not. This is just not okay to live this lifestyle. And I know a lot of us feel that way. And if we do feel that way, then we have to come together. Let's find a way to come together. I mean, it's like I look out there, at first when I look for help, I mean, everything costs money. You want to be part of this, website and this, you have to pay this much and that. I mean, come on, people. The fuck? You don't want the system, but then you do the same thing. I don't get it. I really don't. So anyway, my call is out to those that I also feel like they want to do something new and different, but really different. And I don't want to get really from Armageddon. And I don't really want to just do off-grid living. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe I'm hopeless. Well, what do you want? I want to be free. I want to be myself. I want to be supported in being myself. There, I said it. Is that so hard? Why not? You know? It's amazing because, I mean, my teacher, I loved him so much. I would supported him in anything he would have, anything. And I did. Fuck. And now that I'm homeless, I can't even get somebody to take me in. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry at all. I'm feeling it, yes. I'm sure I'm not the only one. When I start crying, somebody left. Too bad. But anyway, I don't know what else to say. So, I need some backup, people. I need some help. Universe. I really do. I have these clothes that I made. I can trade. You know, and it's fun, but it's also really not what I want to do. I know you're saying no. Well, what is it that you want to do? I don't know. I just want to be free and open in a place that I feel safe and loved. Isn't that what we all want? Be supported in being ourselves without having to exchange. You know, I felt like so much I have suppressed who I really been just to kind of fit in and to exchange, you know. So many places I stayed that I, God forbid, not really been my, you know, really didn't want to say anything because, oh my gosh, because I know what happens when I say things. People don't like it. And maybe that's not true. Maybe that's an old idea too. My mom didn't like it. Let's put it that way. Maybe I can let that go now too. All right. You're right. Okay, so thank you. You know, I love someone that just says what he thinks, if it's correct or not. I appreciate that honesty, an open heart, a willingness to be wrong, and a willingness to expose ourselves. It's been hard for me the last 10 years. I mean, I had a lot of fun too in between, thank God, because thank God I've been gifted with a happy heart, you know, and somehow an ability to, you know, cry myself out of it and find the joy in it again. See how, you know, this is helpful to my growth, how this is going to make me stronger, you know. And that's a good thing. And I'm very grateful for that. You know, after all, I chose this journey. You know. So I'm choosing the good part. Oh, the part when the good stuff starts. I mean, for, you know, I hear the greatest part in human history where the world is changing and we can be part of it. So let's be it. Let's be part of it. Let's do something without doing it. I mean, let's be something. Let's be it more than do it. You know, it's like I'm tired too, like, and I'm sure, again, I know a lot of you feel the same way. I'm tired of watching another video and another video and another truth and another, you know, finding out another history of how this and the Anunnakis, and I just, And for a moment, it was really interested, and I soaked it up like a sponge, and I loved it, every minute of it. And now I'm full, and now I want to just be. I want to live it, because also I see so many. They talk a good talk, but when it comes down to where are they? I mean, really, you know. So enough with the talking. Let's start walking. We can do it. I love you. All right, sweethearts. I said it for tonight. I said it all. Thank you so much, Jennifer, for being here. I don't know if you're still there. It doesn't matter. You're here. And I will come on again for sure soon. You know, it's funny because I've been wanting to do this, and I'm scared. I'm scared of exposing myself, of course. But then again, not really. What do I got to lose? No, really nothing. You know? So I love to just come on and share. And if you feel like if I'm on, you want to come in and have a conversation with me, please feel free. Come in. And I don't know. This is all I feel like wanting to do. You know, talk to you. Be somehow part of the change. You know. So if you need any help with anything, you need somebody that you can talk to because you need a listening ear. But please don't just call me. You guys, my friends from India, Pakistan, Turkey, I love you all. I'm sure I met you somewhere out there. Please don't call me unless you have something just to tell me that is of importance more than if I'm married. And I don't mean any disrespect, but I can't answer everyone, and I have things I want to do too, and I appreciate you as my friends, and I appreciate that you are here, but you know, let's join in here. You can come in here and talk to me. But I want to really stay focused on what is really important to me in my life right now. And that's not getting into a relationship or anything like that. It's about transformation and to be part of this new world. You know, I you know, the thing is, like, I know somewhere we have shifted into in a whole new light frequency, in a whole new dimension. And that's why, like, it's funny, but everything old from before fell away. And we just, as soon as that cycle finished, my car insurance was canceled like that day. Car insurance canceled, like driver license canceled, this, that canceled. You know, it's like, you're not in this world anymore. And I really am not. And why should I fight to be in it? Why? You know, it's what I don't like about the world either, I've noticed. There was a time that they needed us. They don't need us anymore. Have you noticed? So good. You know? Like, they're making it look like, for example, this is how I know they don't need us anymore, because now they're making it look like me answering their survey is somehow benefiting me. Not really. But anyway, let's not get lost in that. I love you guys. It's awesome. It really is awesome. And I'm so glad I talked to you tonight. Oh yeah, I never finished that thought. See, how good that they always come back. from talking to myself a lot, I know. That's why I keep talking. I'm a chatterbox, because my thoughts go and then they come back next round. And now I forgot them again. Ah! Damn it. No amount of silence is going to bring it back. It's sheer luck. It's, happens in spite of me. Isn't that funny? You know, thoughts happen in spite of us. Because when I really want to think about it, I can't. And if I really don't want to think about it, well. Don't tell me it's not happening in spite of us. Okay. I'm having too much fun. It's not so bad talking to myself. I didn't know it was going to be so much fun. I had known that before. All right. I love you. Well, okay, there was something I wanted to say. I know it was important. Some thought I ran with. It never got to the end. My teacher, he would make thoughts. He would have not thoughts, but sentences, ultimately thoughts. They were like a whole paragraph, like this long. They would never end. By the time he got to the end, and I know that because I used to translate in German. The worst thing I would tell the guys, the German guys, just go on the energy. Don't worry about what he said. Because, in German, just like in Spanish or in other languages, you need to get the whole sentence sometimes to know how to, place because we put words in different, sections. No, his sentence being that long, by the time I got to the end, I didn't know how it began. Fuck, how am I going to fucking translate that? It's terrible. Anyway, I'm sure if you would have done it, if I had done it every day, I would have been good at it, getting better at it, but I wasn't too much light to pay attention. Just like in school. Except it was very welcome there. In school, not so much. Hence the drugs. I had to be stoned to keep quiet. I'm serious. It's another thing that I found out about myself. I took drugs a lot to just kind of, so it could be blamed on the drugs. Oh, she's just a drug addict. Better than being thought I was crazy. That's the alternative. And I seen him as a drug addict. I went to the mental hospital one time. There was this young girl my age. I was 14. Fucking in a mental hospital, already closed for 3 weeks. And there was this young girl, she was 16. And she was like a zombie, even though she's so beautiful, like an angel, blonde, long hair and blue eyes, like an angel, really. But like a zombie because of all the medication. She would always say, I can't see anything. I don't know. I can't watch TV. I can't do anything. I can't see shit. And the reason why she was in there was because in religious class, she read the Bible and had a full-blown awakening experience and declared herself as Jesus. Told you, drugs is better. Well, not really, because we ended up in the same place. See what I mean? It's fucked up. But thank God now that I know that about myself, which I always had. But then, having all that stigma on you and people judging you for it and this and that and the other, and your mom and the school throwing you out with a letter not to be allowed in any damn school in that whole damn area. I was like, what am I? Have the pest or something? Like a sickness? What the hell? See what it means to be a drug addict in this world? You're like the outcast. And then when you relapse at AA, by the way, you're the outcast too. I tried that. It's funny. Anyway, honeys, I'm just being myself. That's all. I'm just being honest where I'm at, you know? Where am I at? Right here. Being myself. Having a lot of fun. That's where I'm at. I kind of don't want to hang out, but I have to because I can't be talking forever. I'm afraid Jennifer already left. She just has the phone running. That would be me. I'm here, Gemini. I love you guys. Enjoy. I hope you laughed as much as I did. It's gonna be okay. It is okay. It really is. It is actually already okay. Remember, time is sleight of hand. I think that's where I lost my train of thought. We transitioned into a new frequency, and it takes a moment to realign or readjust everything lining up with that. In school, we used to call them calendar days, and we all experienced that. And then the next day, excuse me, my teachers, we used to say to us, be gentle, love one another. You knew, a lot of times you get agitated and angry and sad because it always feels like you lost something, or, you're not really fitting in. Yeah, you don't really fit in anymore where you were a moment ago. That's right. And it's not all lined up to where you are right now. Or where you're up right now is like a new loose space in your head. I don't know. Ask the scientists where it is. No, I know. I shouldn't be joking. No, I should. It is. Anyway, I just want you laughing. I don't know why. Just because the thing about being with my teacher, we called him Dear One, and I'm going to call him Dear One from now on because I don't like that teacher word. Dear One sounds so sweet, and he was so dear, so dear, and he was the dearest one to me. What I loved is he was always making us laugh every day, because a lot of times we get so serious, because it is a lot, it's huge, we don't really understand the fullness of it when we sit just a single one behind the computer and waiting for something to change. When is the world going to change? When is the truth going to come out? When are we going to, when is our contract as slave run out? It already ran out. It runs out the moment that you decide. They didn't tell you that. They can't enslave you unless free will. And you didn't really sign up for that, did you? I didn't. I did not. No. So, there's nothing to fight. You never signed up. You didn't ever agree to this. It tricked you. And then everybody just, I remember asking my parents, why? Why do we have to work? Why do we have to pay taxes? Why? Where do we go when we die? Why don't you know? What the fuck? You know nothing and you want to be my authority? No. Thank you. I'm glad you're here. Exactly. So let's not wait any longer for any news of change. Let's just live the change. Be the change. It changed. It's all different. Everything. We don't need for them to be revealed. That's just another kind of like vengeance. I don't know. I understand that you get pissed at everything that happened. I've been pissed in my life many times about what happened, but I realized that vengeance never got me anything. Except Oh, my cats are fighting. Hold on. Oh shit. Now I have to finish. Goodbye.